Yo, what is going on, Dogs Gang? We're back for another video, and today we're gonna be doing a video on how to mix and master your beats. Yeah, I know a lot of you guys have been suggesting this or asking for it because I know mixing is not the easiest thing to do, so I'm gonna be guiding you guys on how to do that with your beats. So if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you leave a like. Don't forget to comment on videos that you do in the future in the comment section below, and share this video with your friends. Tell them about Dogs Gang. You know how it is. But yeah. And don't forget to subscribe, of course, don't forget to subscribe. Join notification gang, man. Turn on post notifications. Hit that bell after you subscribe. It's right next to the notification button, alright? Or right next to the subscribe button. But yeah, we're gonna get into this video. I'm gonna see you guys on my computer, and peace. Alright, you guys, so we are on my computer. And right here, I, of course, have my unmixed beat. I'm gonna let you guys have a listen in a minute. You can tell that it's not mixed at all. Some of the sounds are too loud, some are too, too quiet. And some of them aren't EQ'd, so it's gonna sound a little bit strange. So I'm gonna go ahead and play it for you guys, the unmixed version, and then we're gonna go ahead and start mixing it. So without further ado, here's the beat. Alright, you guys, so there is the unmixed beat. You can tell there's some sounds that are too quiet, not able to hear, and some are too loud that are overbearing. So we're gonna go ahead and start mixing that. The first thing I'm gonna do real quick when I'm mixing my beats, I already did it. So what I like to do is I put like a free soft clipper on the master channel or the master track on the mixer, because first of all, there's Fruity Limiter that's already on it by default for most people. So and Fruity Limiter is not that good because it kind of over compresses it, and I hate over compression, so I'm gonna get rid of that. But yeah, you just get rid of Fruity Limiter and just put on a soft clipper, and then you should be good. I don't mess around with settings or anything, I just leave it how it is. But now I'm gonna move on to my first sound, so the melody. I'm going to go ahead and just start EQing it. So I'm just gonna mute it, mute everything else, and just have that as the only sound playing. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do press control, and then press the on the mute solo button here, and I'm gonna put it on pattern mode, and put it on this one because that's my first sound. So here's that sound. But yeah, now I'm just gonna get parametric EQ too. So as you can tell, when the song is, or when the beat is playing, or when that sound is playing on this insert one, that's where the first sound is, you're gonna see all the frequencies that are in that sound. And what we're gonna wanna do is cut out all of the frequencies that are unnecessary. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play it real quick. And I'm just gonna cut out all of the low end because that sound doesn't really have any low end. I'm gonna cut out some of the high end. I'm just gonna scroll down on this first one and bring this down a little bit, scroll up a little bit, do the same thing on the right side, bring this down to those four open squares. Alright, and there you go, there's our first sound. It is EQ'd. All of the lows and high, unnecessary lows and highs are out of it, so that it won't be interfering with any other sounds. So that's why we do it. That's why we EQ everything. Alright, next is going to be the second sound, which is the flute, I believe. So with this flute, we're just going to do the same thing. I'm going to go ahead, open up Fruity Parametric EQ, put it on the first slot. Oh yeah, also always make sure you put it on the first slot, because you want that to be the first thing to activate before any other effect, because it's going to sound cleaner. So that's what I like to do at least. But yeah, we're going to go ahead, play it, and then go ahead, cut out the lows again, Put this down. And scroll down, do the exact same thing we're going to do with the last sound. And I think that should be good. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and play those two together, and we're going to see how they sound together. Whoops. Let me go on the this right here. We're going to play them together. Where are they at? Here's where they play together. Alright, I'm going to play them together. Alright, so they're played together, and personally I think that the flute was a little bit too quiet, so what we're going to do is just go on parametric EQ2, turn up the flute a little bit by just dragging on this. You can drag on this or drag on, oops, not that, or drag on the, wow, what am I doing? Or drag on the white line here. I just like to do the white line there. I just drag up on it. So turn up the master on it, and so yeah, now it's a little bit louder, you can hear it more now. Alright, and normally I don't really like to have, it's not good to have melodies too loud, so I'm just going to turn it down a little bit because you want to hear the drums. So, oops, let me get rid of that. So yeah, I'm just going to turn them down a little bit. I'd say maybe around to like 11 dB, getting your sounds to about negative 11 dB, negative 10. It's about a good place. Alright, and that's about it for that. Now it's next we're going to go to the 808. So this is the 808, what it sounds like. That's about it. And first of all, what I like to do in my 808s, not sure if I've told you guys this before, but I'm going to go to my 808. Whoops, let's select the 808. Where is it? Here it is. I'm going to go ahead and highlight everything and make sure all of these velocities of each note for the 808s are all the way up, and yeah, they're gonna sound as loud as they can. But next, what we're gonna do is make sure that the 808 is gonna hit 0 dB, which is like right here. So right now it's hitting at like negative 2 dB, but we want to hit 0. So what we're gonna do is go to slot, get wave shaper, and go ahead and turn it up just a little bit. I mean, that's good enough. It doesn't have to hit exactly at 0 dB. I mean, personally, I just think it should be to be as loud as possible. It should hit around 0 dB. I mean, sometimes if you push up wave shaper too much, it's going to distort the whole thing. I don't really like distortion, and normally, sometimes don't really want that. So just leaving it near 0 dB is fine. But next, we're going to go on to the kick. I'm going to mute everything else. Go to the kick. Where is the kick? Whoops, let me play it. Yeah, so same thing with the kick. I'm going to go to the piano roll, press the kick, and whoops, not that. Go to the kick, highlight everything, make sure they're all turned up, because you want them to be as loud as they can be, and of course use wave shaper for this one as well. Turn it up just a little bit. Alright, yep, there we go. I think that's about it. So it's, yeah, that's about 18% tension. So for that kick, that specific kick, that is how you would mix it. Next, we're going to go to the hi-hats. Since the 808 and kick are done, I'm going to go ahead and alright, so with the hi-hats, I'm just going to go ahead and EQ them. Just like how we EQ'd the same thing for, just how we EQ'd the other sounds. So I'm just going to take out all those lows that aren't used at all. That should be good, right about there. I'm going to turn it up just a little bit because I think it's a little quiet. Alright, that's good. That's about good. Now, next is going to be my snare, I think. Alright, so it's kind of a perk anyway, but we're gonna go ahead and EQ it. I'm just gonna put it on the sound since it doesn't play frequently. I'm just gonna put it on there. Alright, go ahead and EQ it same way. Same thing, just changing that to 4 squares, open squares. Make sure you're scrolling it up to 40%, or maybe 50% is good. Bringing 1 down to 69 or 70 hertz. Getting rid of all of the unnecessary frequencies. Alright, sounds about good. I didn't want that sound to be too loud, so I'm going to leave the volume just as it is. I mean, and we'll get into mixing after this, so I'm going to go ahead and go to the snare. Do the same thing. EQ some of that out. Go to my next snare, do the same thing. I'm probably going to speed through this anyway so that you can speed it up a little bit. I'm just going to go ahead, keep doing it. Oops, wrong. Completely wrong. Alright, there we go. Alright, next. And EQ this open hat. Sounds about good. Alright, and the last thing, I'm going to EQ the second open hat. EQ all the lows out of this one. Alright, and that is that. Alright, so now that everything's EQ'd, we're going to go ahead and hear what everything sounds like together. So here's what everything sounds like together, EQ. Alright, so everything is EQ'd, however it is not mixed. Some sounds are still a little bit too loud for my liking and some are too quiet for my liking. So what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and mix them by using all of the mixer tracks and their knobs and whatnot. So we're going to go ahead and start with the 808 and the kick. So we're going to mute everything and except we're going to start with the 808 and the kick and the melodies. So actually I'm going to mark the melodies on the mixer real quick so you guys don't get confused. Alright, so together with the melody and the 808 and kick, this is what everything's going to sound like. So I think everything sounds pretty good right now, so I'm going to go ahead and add in one more sound. So what I like to do when I'm mixing, I just add sounds one at a time for my mix. So that I know which sounds are going to stand out more and whatnot. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. So next I'm just going to include the hi-hats. I'm going to turn it down a little bit. It's too loud for my liking, so. And then I'm going to go ahead and bring in the stick or the snare or whatever perk. It's a little bit loud, so I'm going to turn that down as well. So that sounds about good. Now I'm gonna bring in the snare. So that's way too quiet for me, and instead of bringing it, okay. So what I'm gonna do, since it's too quiet for me, I'm just gonna turn it up. Basically, I'm just gonna turn it up here. And since that it's not loud enough, so for me right now this isn't really loud enough. So I want to turn the snare up just a little bit more. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go back into parametric EQ and then just turn this up just a little bit. Put it back here. All right, next is gonna be the second snare. So. Alright, now since that these two snares came in together and now it's a little bit louder, I'm going to go ahead and go back to the first one and I'm going to turn it down just a little bit. Because when the two snares were together, they were, you know, pretty loud. So I'm going to turn it down a little bit. Alright, now I'm going to bring in the open hat, the first open hat. Turn it down. So I'm just turn that down just a little bit. That sounds about right. And finally the last open hat. I'm gonna bring that one in right now. So that's a little bit too loud for me, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna turn it down just a little. I think that's about it. That sounds pretty nice. So there's that. That's how you mix and EQ your beat. I'll leave the mixer preset in the description for download if you guys want to download it and see how I did it. But there's that. Next we're gonna go on to mastering. Now this isn't like professional mastering. I'm by no means a studio engineer or professional engineer. This is just something that I like to do with my beats to make them louder, and I've seen somebody else do it, and I tried it out and it works for me, so I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and load up a Maximus on the master track. So I'm gonna go to the master track, load up Maximus. So right about here, I'm gonna load up Maximus. With Maximus, you're able to detect all the sounds in the low end and what's low end, mid end, and high end frequencies, and you're able to manipulate and boost and do whatever you want to those sounds. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys how to do that. So first I'm gonna start off with the low end, and all you do is just click on the low and it'll show you all the low end sounds being played. So as you can tell, all of those sounds are from the kick and they're from the 808. So as you can tell, they're peaking, or like, as you can tell, these purple points right here, they're just peaking above 0 dB. So what we're gonna do is we're going to turn down the pre just a little bit. That sounds about good, so that now it doesn't go too high above the that 0 dB line, like that blue line. That's where that blue line is. Next we're gonna go to the mids and see if anything's peaking. So no, so everything here seems about good. And actually I'm gonna turn the stereo separation up just a little bit so I can mix in mono, so all the way up. All right, next, since the mids are good, we're gonna go ahead and go to the highs. And since highs are a bit low, so I'm gonna just boost them a little bit with the pre-knob. And all right, since the highs are just a little bit, since the highs aren't really that loud, we're just gonna boost them just a little bit with the pre-knob. So I'm just gonna turn this up just a little bit, maybe up to 3 dB. Just to hear the mix. I'm gonna turn up stereo separation all the way up. Alright, and then on the master, what I'm just going to do, I'm going to turn up the post a little bit so that the master over here is going to hit 0 dB. So turn up the post and then the pre until we see the master track hit 0 dB on our mixer. So So yeah, I think this is about close enough. It's hitting just about negative 2.3 dB, and I was turning it up a little bit, and it was starting to sound a little bit distorted. So I'm just gonna leave it how it is right now because I think it's loud enough and it sounds good. So yeah, I think we're about done. But if you guys want a video on how to use Maximus more in depth, because I only like really scratched the surface on it. But if you want me to do a video on Maximus, like a more in-depth one about using Maximus as a master like plugin, I'll be happy to do it. But that's about it. Hope you guys learned something. Hope that this helped you guys learn how to mix your beats better and master them better and EQ them better too. But yeah, hopefully when we do the beat critiques, I'll be getting some beats that sound dope. But yeah, man, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you leave a like. Don't forget to share this video with your friends. Comment in the comment section below on videos you should do in the future. And also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Turn on post notifications. Hit that bell, man. Hit that bell so you don't miss a live stream or when I upload my videos. And that's about it. I'm going to see you guys in the next one. And peace.